Most people think success comes from motivation, talent, or luck. But in reality, the biggest wins come from something far more reliable, a system that works no matter what domain you apply it to. Today, I'll show you the blueprint behind every effective system, whether it's investing, engineering, fitness, or productivity. When you view everything around you as a system, success will be your output. A system isn't just a sequence of steps, it's a group of interconnected components working together to support the successful completion of a common goal. In engineering terms, a system is inputs, processes, and outputs. But the real power isn't in the diagram, it's in how the system handles constraints, feedback, and failure. When each part does its job and supports the others, the system produces reliable, repeatable results. Once you understand these elements, you can build a system for anything. Every system starts with inputs. These are the resources you control: time, money, energy, information, tools, or skills. Strong systems define inputs clearly. Weak systems pretend that inputs are unlimited. Next are constraints, the limits you must operate within. Engineers love constraints because they force clarity. Most people ignore them, and that's why their systems fail. Constraints include deadlines, budgets, risk tolerance, physical limits, or environmental conditions. A good system doesn't fight constraints. It uses them to shape better decisions. This is the engine of the system, the repeatable steps you follow. A good process is simple, consistent, measurable, and easy to execute under stress. If your process breaks the moment life gets busy, it's not a system, it's a wish. Outputs are the results your system produces. Here's the key: you can't control outputs directly, but you can control the inputs and processes that lead to the outputs. When you stop chasing outcomes and start optimizing the system, results improve automatically. Every strong system has feedback. Feedback tells you what's working, what's failing, and what needs adjustment. Without feedback, you're flying blind. With feedback, you're constantly improving. Every system has failure modes, the ways it can break. Engineers identify failure modes early so they can build safeguards. You can do the same. What happens if you run out of time? What if conditions change? What if the process stops working? A resilient system expects failure and adapts to it. To see how powerful systems can be, let's look at two examples everyone knows, one that failed and one that became world-class. First, a system that failed, Blockbuster. On the surface, it looked successful. Thousands of stores, millions of customers, and a recognizable brand built over a few decades. But the underlying system was fragile. It relied on late fees, physical inventory, and slow decision cycles. When streaming emerged, Blockbuster ignored the feedback, underestimated the constraint of convenience, and failed to redesign its process. The system couldn't adapt, and it collapsed almost overnight. Now, a system that works, Apple's product development system. Apple succeeds not because of one product, but because of a repeatable system, through tight integration, controlled inputs, rapid feedback loops, and relentless simplification. Every product follows the same engineered process, from design to testing to launch. That's why Apple can consistently deliver hits across completely different categories. It's not luck, it's the strength of the system. One system failed because it couldn't evolve. The other thrives because it's built to adapt. Once the system works, you optimize it, not by making it more complicated, but by removing friction, reducing steps, and tightening feedback. The best systems get simpler over time, not more complex. Inputs, constraints, process, outputs, feedback, failure modes, optimization. This blueprint works in any domain: investing, engineering, fitness, productivity, or business. When you build systems instead of relying on motivation, you get consistent results with less effort. If you want to see how I apply this blueprint to real-world examples, including investing, engineering, and workflow design, stick around for future videos. Precision Explained is all about engineered clarity for complex topics. See you next time.